What's going on, everyone, and welcome to today's vegan news. This week a lot of things happened. I have so many things to share. For those of you who don't know, these are the weekly news videos where we talk about bad news, good news, and weird news. So let's get started. Let's talk about the bad news, shall we? Now, to be completely honest, I really didn't find that many bad news this week. So instead, I decided to just be maybe critical or pessimistic or realistic. I don't know, you'll tell me. So as you all know, this week the 1 week climate strike started and more than 4 million people protested in the street. Now, you might be wondering, why is this in the bad news category? Well, that's because I want to be realistic. We have more than 7 billion humans on the planet and 4 million went on strike. Now I know, before you attack me, I know that it's relatively much better than what usually happens. But I still think 4 million is nothing. I mean, 7 billion humans and only 4 million were concerned enough to get out there on the streets. Now, another thing that I was thinking about was, what are we demanding with these strikes? So the demands are usually to ask the governments and pressure the governments to make them stop the subsidies for the fossil fuel industries. And it makes me wonder, and then what? Like, all right, let's say they stop the subsidies. This is best case scenario. The citizens are going to have to pay the price. Like, do you have a solution of how you're going to go to work or whatever it is that you need fossil fuels for if the subsidies stop? Because when the subsidies stop, the price goes high. So it's kind of confusing. If you have anything to share with me, of course, about this or any other topic that I want to talk about, please feel free to comment in the comment section below. But how does it work? Do we already have an infrastructure that is sustainable and strong enough to help us all use transport in a different way? Like, what's going to happen exactly when the subsidies stop? What really upsets me actually is the lack of communication and transparency of one of the most important things we can do, actually the most important thing we can do on a personal level to fight against climate change. I talked about this before. The biggest study ever done on humans and their diets in the Oxford University already showed this, and the lead researcher said himself that the most important and powerful thing any one of us can do on a personal level to fight climate change is to change their diets to a vegan diet, and that will be more beneficial to the environment than buying an electric car or flying less. So if the science is saying this, if the numbers are showing this, why aren't we talking about it? I'm so grateful for all the vegans who are out there protesting, mentioning animal agriculture, but it really frustrates me that when it comes to mass media and everything, and even Greta Thunberg, she doesn't really talk about it that much. She has mentioned it a few times, and I think she's done an excellent job with creating this movement that is getting stronger and bigger. But it really kind of frustrates me that she even doesn't talk about it enough. She, like almost everyone else, talks about the subsidies and everything, but again, my question is, and then what? So yeah, that is the first bad news. Of course, we can also all concentrate on the fact that 4 million people went on strike. That is actually a big number. I just don't think it's enough. But maybe, with time, the numbers will grow. Hopefully. Now, the second thing that I want to share in the bad news category is the domestic dairy demand that is right now at 56-year high. Alright, that means in the last 56 years, the demand for dairy products is the highest it's ever been. And I'm sure most of you has watched the last episode of Vegan News. You're gonna think, well, how is the dairy industry doing a loss of $1.1 billion in 2018 when the demand is at an all-time high? The report says the USDA data shows per capita cheese sales have tripled since 1971, and per capita butter usage is at its highest since 1968. Now, this is the USDA, and although I'm sure they're in bed with the dairy industry, I don't think these numbers are lying. And this is something we should think about. Yes, the dairy industry is falling. Yes, they are having major losses. But still, the cheese sales is at an all-time high. And I'm not surprised. I do think people are ditching milk when it comes to dairy, but they're not necessarily ditching cheese. So that's something maybe vegans should concentrate on in their activism. Let's not only talk about milk. Obviously, cheese is made of milk, but maybe we should talk about the importance of ditching cheese and becoming against speciesism altogether. Now, the good news. Tesco launches affordable vegan range as part of sustainability drive. How amazing is that? Supermarket giant Tesco has created a major new plant-based range which it describes as affordable as part of its commitment to making its food more sustainable. This is really amazing because a lot of these supermarkets, when they come up with vegan ranges, sometimes they make it kind of expensive. Like, if I can't afford it as a dedicated vegan, how is someone who is transitioning gonna see that? Like, I can always buy something else, but someone who's transitioning to veganism, when they see those prices, they freak out. And then we tell them, you know, like, you can always buy rice and chickpeas and things like that and have a very cheap vegan meal that is nutritious, healthy, and tasty. But sometimes people want convenience, and when they want convenience, they shouldn't be paying more than a non-vegan is paying. So the fact that Tesco is doing this as a part of their commitment to have more sustainable food, I think, in my opinion, is amazing. Billie Eilish. I don't know. I actually have no idea who this person is. And I know you're all gonna laugh at me because last time I tried to say her name, I had the same reaction. I literally don't know who she is, but apparently she's extremely famous. Super famous. Maybe, I don't know, I think she's a musician or something. I think that's what they told me. No idea. Probably don't like her genre of music. But anyway, what is important is that Billie Eilish, I hope that's how you pronounce her name, urged 38.6 million of her followers, probably on Instagram, to speak up on climate crisis. This is amazing. This is really amazing. The fact that someone like her is stepping up and talking about veganism is really amazing. Because again, as I said it before, a lot of people freak out when we start calling these like huge actors and musicians vegans and important vegan activists and this and that, because they're always afraid maybe they stop being vegan and know what's going to happen then. However, based on what she's done so far, she looks like a really dedicated vegan, someone who actually understands veganism, and the fact that she's speaking up about veganism and raising awareness about how we can help when it comes to the climate is amazing. Now, good news for activists in Australia. Taylor Swift cancels Melbourne Cup show amid animal cruelty outcries. So the pressure that animal activists were able to put against the horse racing events in Melbourne in Australia has made Taylor Swift cancel her show. I think this is amazing. I think the fact that she also decided to cancel is amazing. So thank you all the activists and organizations or groups, whoever worked on this initiative. That's absolutely great. And hopefully we'll get more small victories like this, because then we will be more and more motivated to continue. Now, some of you mentioned Gamechangers, the documentary, on my last video when I asked who has seen it. We have a great news about Gamechangers. The Gamechangers nabs iTunes best-selling documentary download. How amazing is that? So Gamechangers was screened worldwide last week. The feedback was so amazing, and they announced that the documentary is ready for pre-order on iTunes, and already it has broken a record of the most sold documentary, and it's not even released yet. It's going to be released on the 1st of October. So if you want to put your pre-order, go ahead and do it. Again, for those of you who watched last week's news, I mentioned Cambridge ditching meat on their menu to fight against climate change. Now, this week, Portugal's oldest university just banned beef. The University of Coimbra in Portugal has announced a ban on beef in a bid to reduce its environmental impact. The ban, which will come into effect in January 2020, is part of the university's efforts to be first carbon neutral university in Portugal by 2030. We are experiencing a climate emergency, and we have to put brakes on this projected environmental catastrophe. I think the biggest impact is to make people aware of the problem. What is more dramatic is that the world leaders do not understand that the future of the planet and of our young people, our children and our grandchildren, is at stake. And that is too worrying not to warn of the problem, even if they are small gestures. The rector also announced a strict policy against food waste, which will include the introduction of bins for food scraps in university residences. The university is also ditching single-use plastic straws in favor of paper ones and introducing tree planting program. How amazing is that? Now, I gave a talk this year at the University of Coimbra, and the response was amazing. It was a talk on veganism and sustainability, and this makes me feel like I could probably go back next year, so that hopefully, just hopefully, we can make the university fully vegan. Not just ditch cow flesh, just take it all out, because we don't need it. It's not good. It's not good for the environment. It's not good for us. It's not good for the animals. So hopefully they will be more open. And I'll try my best to meet up this time with university directors and see if we can do something about it. Another good news, as I said this week, is amazing. Joaquin Phoenix stars in a campaign to end speciesism. The longtime vegan is appearing in a new animal rights campaign for PETA, targeting speciesism. PETA timed the campaign launch around the release of the highly anticipated Joker film, which arrives in theaters early next month. We Are All Animals released a new campaign poster with the tag End Speciesism. I think this is amazing. Now, if you're a vegan and especially an activist, you would know that PETA does not really have the best reputation for things they've done in the past and being extremely welfarist. But for them to use the funding that they have and the power that they have to use someone as famous as him, a huge actor, to spread the message that clearly says we are all animals and speciesism, live vegan, I think is absolutely amazing. So good job, Peter. Now, we all know that vegans really like to exaggerate some things. So today I saw an article shared that said Disney's US theme parks are going vegan. And I was like, what? They're going vegan? Like fully vegan? And it was shared by Channel 8. So I was like, this is not like a vegan platform or something. Like it's not like plant-based news or Live Kindly or any other vegan pages saying that the US theme parks of Disney are going vegan. So I was like, let me read about it though. Unfortunately, it turns out they're not really going vegan. Although they are adding 400 vegan options on their menus that are going to be categorized as vegan. Now, in the beginning I was like, damn it, that's bad news, they're not going vegan. But then I thought, you know what, this is massive. I know you're probably thinking, yeah, but we can't like buy ourselves into a vegan world. I know that, but can you imagine the amount of vegan options that will be available there and the normalization of veganism that it will bring on children who are going to these parks? I think this is amazing. Whoever worked on making this possible, good job. Now, the article said every menu at the park, including those at Disney-branded hotel restaurants, will feature meatless options. More than 400 vegan dishes will be added at Disney World in Florida by early October, followed by California's Disneyland in spring 2020. Disney will add a green leaf logo to the menus to help people spot the new additions. Paris and Hong Kong Disney parks have plant-based options as well, but only the US locations will have a vegan option for every menu. Hopefully, with time, that will change as well. Now, another good news that is probably not very vegan related, let's say. Slovakia welcomes its first female president, and she's an environmental activist. Now, I know, I don't think she's vegan. I haven't checked if she's vegan. I didn't see anywhere that it says she's vegan. But the fact that she's an environmental activist is a good thing. Hopefully that means she's open to doing more things for the environment, such as going vegan. So I was reading a bit about her, and I also saw that it said, in a conservative Roman Catholic country, a divorced mother of two supports both LGBTQ rights and access to reproductive health care. Finally, I really hope that she doesn't disappoint us like almost every single politician out there. You never know, times are changing. Now, today I left the weird news for the last part, just because I thought it's weird, but it's also kind of funny. Mother threatens to take child out of school over Meatless Mondays initiative. What is wrong with these people? I was fuming. It seems the school is just ramming the issue down our throats. Oh my god. Your child's future depends on these decisions. The lives of animals depends on these decisions. The environment depends on these decisions. The health of your child depends on your decisions. And all you could say is that the school is shoving it down your throat. You know what? Maybe it's good the school actually stopped shoving meat down your child's throat. So how about get over it and realize that some things will change no matter what you want to believe in. What is wrong with people? She also said, if it wants to raise awareness of environmental issues, why not have a paper-free Monday or a car-free Monday? Why doesn't it send out emails rather than letters to parents of the school's 220 pupils? It seems people always want to single out farmers. Alright, so dig into it a bit. Turns out she's a farmer. Nothing against farmers, but like, if your business is destroying the environment, don't be surprised that people who care about the environment don't want to buy your product. Like, and then you say, why not have a paper-free Monday? Well, first of all, it's a school. Like, it's a school.
The school.
What do you want them to write on? Like, you want to buy laptops for all the students? Second of all, the same way you're going to say people want to single out farmers, the next person who produces paper is going to say people want to single out paper production companies. I don't even know what they're called. But like, it's sad. It's sad. Anyway, I hope she doesn't take out her child out of the school because of that, because it seems like that's a good school. I mean, if your school is aware enough to take such decisions, I don't know, maybe you should keep your child there. So that's it for today's vegan news. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any news that you actually want to share that I missed, please just leave it in the comment section below and I'll check it out. And I will be making another video commenting on other videos. So if you have any propositions on that for a vegan takedown episode, please let me know as well. Send me a message, email, or comment. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Hit that notification button, otherwise you will never find out when I'm putting out videos, because YouTube just wants to make everybody's life more difficult, right? So now that that's been said, if you want to support my work, you can check out my Patreon. It does help me a lot. Or you can just go to ethicsoverhabits.com, the online website where I have organic vegan clothing, merchandise, stickers, and other things. I guess that's all I have to share. I hope I didn't forget anything. Again, thank you so much all for your support, for sharing the previous videos, for the comments, for the likes. If you didn't like it, maybe you can send me feedback. I'll take that into consideration as well. Until next week.